see if I can do lighting. I don't like that. Let's look outside. Not a starry night. Alright. But we'll look outside. I gotta smoke a cigarette anyways. So, over the past month, just like my life has gone to total shit, alright? It's gone to total fucking shit, my life in 1 month. Like, all in a day. It just changed overnight, alright? And the worst part about it, I can't do a damn thing about it. I can't, like, seriously. Like, all my accounts have been shut down. Even my phone account. I can't leave out of my apartment because I'm crippled. I can't call for food because I have no phone. So, and I don't have access to my money in my bank account. So I can't pay my rent, can't pay my bills, and I can't buy food. So I'm fucked, alright? And I can't even go down to the, like, bus station because I can't even walk. So I'm fucked. During this time, when I'm struggling, I'm sitting down on the fucking, like, it's obvious that I'm in physical distress, alright? And I start seeing religious folks. And they're always coming over here, the Mormons. The Mormons are always checking up on me. You know, seeing what I'm up to. Now, no shade to the Mormons. I don't have any shade to the Mormons. Until now. Until now. You know, I'm not into religious cults, especially Christian religious cults. But I'm into other religious, mystical cults. I don't feel like I align with the Mormon traditional beliefs. I don't. But yet, it's always pushed upon me. It seems like I'm always being recruited. Like, I'm always being targeted by that specific group. It's not like the Mennonites or the Amish come up to me and say, hey, you want to join our group? Because they're not like that. Definitely not the Catholics. They're always shutting me out. The moment I start speaking to them, they close their door on me. So get the hell out of here. So, but yeah. So when I was a kid, back in 1986, there was a movie called Poltergeist 2, The Other Side. Scared the living shit out of me. I couldn't sleep because of the movie. The movie was so traumatizing to me. I'm going to tell you this part in the movie as to why I fear religious fanatical cults. Even large enterprises like organizations. In Poltergeist 2, there's this guy named Reverend Cain. Alright? Reverend Cain, he's the leader of this religious cult. And this is back in the 1800s. And they're an end of times cult. All right. And he has everyone convinced that he knows when the end of days is going to happen. So he takes all these people, like a ton of people, and he drags them out into the desert. And he finds this like hole in the ground. And he has someone, like, people shut it. And all these people are in this hole in the ground in the desert thinking that the world's gonna end. And they all die. All right? They all die in this hole in the ground. Now, fast forward to modern times. Caroline, the little girl, she's been born in this house, all right? And it's near where this guy in the religious cult from the 1800s and all his followers had died in. So she was born in a house either above that or near that area. And now all these cult members in the paranormal, like, realm, and including him, are obsessed with her. Are like completely obsessed with her. They stalk her. They need her. All this shit. You know, they trap her. They always trying to trap her, you know, stop her. Anyways. Y'all have to watch the rest of the movie. I'm not going to spoil it for you. But him and his cult are always obsessed to the point that it's just not. It's not even good in the spiritual realm. At this point, it's just like demonic, poltergeists, monsters, like physical monsters, like worms turning, like tequila worms turning into fucking like physical monsters of this obsessed, like, reverend from the 1800s and his followers' souls that just need this poor girl named Caroline. It's just, it gets absurd to a point that it even goes into the spiritual realm, and it really fucks shit up, you know. If I were to ever, okay, if I were to ever major in any field of psychology, it would be parapsychology. Because Poltergeist 2 was like the top of, like, when I was a kid. Now we're talking 1986 graphics, all right? We're not talking about modern day stuff. We're talking about stuff from the 80s. It's not going to be all that cool. But the storyline and the plot really wins in that movie. Poltergeist, the first one is like the start. You know, you get this idea of what things are happening, what are we expecting, but you don't really get the backup story of, like, the other side. And it's not so much about Caroline anymore at that point. She's not an important figure. She's just kind of an in and out figure. At this point, it's about her mom, psychics, this guy named Kane, his cult followers in the spirit realm, a Native American shaman, their dad. Their sister isn't even in that. I don't think she's even in that. Their grandmother. So the whole movie takes on a whole different spin at this point, you know. It's not about Caroline. It's about her family trying to get her back, you know, from this obsessed cult that is stuck in the spiritual realm. because they all followed this guy into the ground thinking it was going to be the end of times. And they think Caroline's the only one that can save them. But it's not like that. So anyways, I like parapsychology. That's the field I would have majored in. Because I was obsessed with stuff like that. I don't like cut 'em up, slice 'em up, like horror movies like that. I like shit like stuff based on spiritual, paranormal stuff. Not Saw. Or I like Exorcist. I do. That was my first introduction. I don't like Hellraiser because it's too gory. It's just, I can't sit there and watch that shit. Makes me sick. I don't know, I'm just a bitch like that, I'm sorry. But as far as like the spiritual realm, I like that stuff. I like that stuff. I really do. It's different. But that doesn't mean that I'm exceptional in any way in regards of that term. Just because I hold a talent like that. Who's more exceptional? A guy that does that or a guy that can build a futuristic spaceship for everyone to float around in? All I know is whatever God gave me, I'm grateful. Thank you. You know. If that's all I get, that's all I get. Then I can't ask for anything more. I have to be grateful. So the best thing I ever got, I guess, from but so yeah. Apparently Reverend Cain led everyone into a hole in the ground and they died. And now they're stuck and obsessed with Caroline. It doesn't make much sense, does it? Anyways, I'll tell you why I like parapsychology and why I would have majored in it. Not because I have the upper hand on everyone. But because you can't hide shit. You can't. I'm sorry, you can't. I don't know anyone or anyone on the other side that can hide the truth. I really can't. Here we think we can. Even when we know the truth, we still think we can hide the truth. But on the other side, we all know the truth. You know what I mean? We all know the truth. So, yeah, I'm not saying I'm better than anyone else. I'm not saying my shit don't sink because I've made bad decisions. I'm human, alright? But ultimately, can't hide that shit. And the more you realize that, the more it becomes apparent that those on the other side will call you out on that shit. Just blatantly. You can't force it though. You can't say, oh, Granny's such and fuck that died in 2013 or something. Yeah. Is gonna listen to me and not you. When she knows you've been up to no good and she sees where it's leading to. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm not saying I'm perfect or anything. I'm definitely not perfect. But there's one thing I do know. Sometimes your granny from whoever tells me to do things. And I'm like, I really don't. I don't think it. And she's like, do it. Do it. So I do it. That's why I'm not perfect. Because Granny's such and fuck from like 1813 that you never even met told me to do it. Anyways, this was my favorite movie as a kid. Poltergeist 2, The Other Side. That's Reverend Kane. He's actually dead, alright? He's from like 1800s. And he's got this whole band of like followers, alright? They're like this huge group of, I don't know what they are. Hell, I don't know. But they're all obsessed with Caroline, you know. I want to see where they, in the cave. So, yeah. They're all dying in the cave. If I can find it. In the cave, families dying. Anyways, I don't know where it is, but you know, it's kind of generic, but anyways, gosh, I can't find it. They won't show it. Inside cave. Follow him. Follow Kane. I don't know, but anyways, they're obsessed with her, but she's not the main character in this movie. Actually, he is, I think. He's the main character in this movie. He's like the big time, like, everything centers around him. You can just tell, even from the start. Everything is about him and his upset. So this is like, yeah, all right. So in Poltergeist 2, The Other Side, demented 19th century cult leader Reverend Henry Kane led his apocalyptic religious followers deep into an underground cave under the false promise of survival from a doomsday event. Instead, he sealed them inside to die so he could trap and harvest their souls. The cult's fate in the cave, the doomsday lie. Cain convinced his devoted flock that the world was ending, leading them into a subterranean caverns. Trapped soul. Once inside, Cain sealed the cave's entrance, dooming his followers and keeping their spirits bound to him as a demonic entity known as the Beast. The Freeling Connection. Decades later, the tract housing of Cuesta Verde was built right over this sacred burial ground and cave system. So yeah, the family's house was built right above it. Return to the underworld. To the end, the haunting once and for all, the Freeling family goes back to the ruins of their old property and enter the dark caves below. The other side, Kane yanks Diane and Caroline across into the spectrum realm, prompting Steve and Robbie to follow them through a sacred fire. Defeat of Kane. Inside the spirit dimension, Steve uses a sacred charmed tribal lace given by their ally Taylor to stab and destroy Kane, freeing the trapped souls. So guess who, all right, Steve is. He's like the spiritual Native American. Steve from Poltergeist 2, I forget his name. It's like Eagle something, I think. I don't know. Poltergeist 2. All right. No, that's not Steve. The native guy. The native. Who was he? Is it Taylor? Taylor, that's his name. Not, I forgot that. Taylor. So. Steve is the father, but this is Taylor. Taylor is a Native American shaman and spiritual warrior in the 1986 horror sequel Poltergeist 2: The Other Side, played by actor William Sampson. Taylor steps in to help the Freeling family fight the demonic entity known as the Beast and the Reverend Henry Kane. So Taylor is a shaman, all right? He uses spiritual wisdom to guide Steve and Diane and the Freelings after they face renewal. So this guy, he's like Superman of the spiritual world, all right? He's got like, you know. And then because of what's her name? Is it Zelda? Zelda Poltergeist. Yeah, Zelda. Well, anyways, Zelda Rubinstein. Yeah. So she connects this family to him. You know, she's like this psychic chick. She was in the first movie. She's also in the second movie. But let's see. How much is she? This time she's teaching the mother that the mother is psychic and she knows how to save her child. So yeah. But yeah. So anyways, so parapsychology. Let's see. Parapsychology is the academic and scholarly study of alleged psychic phenomena and paranormal claims such as extraterrestrial perception, telepathy, and psychokinesis. Mainstream science largely rejects the field as a pseudoscience because researchers have not provided reproducible evidence. Of course you can't, because you can't see it, right? Exactly. So even at psychology, it's considered a pseudo-psychology because it's not religious, right? Okay, because it doesn't involve religion. So anyway, you know, ESP, gathering information without using normal known senses, telepathy, transferring thoughts or feelings directly from one mind to clairvoyance, precognition, you know. So this young guys are really good at this stuff right here. Psychokinesis. Like, I don't know, every time, young guys just seem to know how to do that really good. When I was younger, I could do that really well, but now that I'm older, I can't do it. It's like just having a lot of energy, I think, and being able to channel it. So, this has become easier as I gotten older, right here. These three, all these. Whereas this, I've had more wear on my hands, but yeah. Yes. Anything within these realms. But put that in your memory bank for a second, all right? So, anyways, types of So we went through that type, psychokinesis. And then we got something called survival studies. All right, so not a lot of us. So parapsychology is an academic study of alleged psychic and paranormal phenomena that fall outside conventional scientific explanation. The field is generally divided into 5 major areas of study: telepathy, clairvoyance, precognition, psychokinesis, and survival studies. Mainstream science largely rejects these categories as pseudoscience due to the lack of reproducible evidence. Okay, so we already know what telepathy is, right? Sharing thoughts, feelings, or emotions without the known physical senses, all right? Clairvoyance, precognition, psychokinesis. Now, as far as this, that's up to the spirit world for me now. I totally relinquish that to them, all right? So they'll fuck with the shit for me now. I gave them that energy. I couldn't do it. My hands are too messed up. Anyways, survival studies. This is the new one I've noticed. Whether human consciousness can persist past physical death, encompassing near-death experiences, hauntings, mediumship, and reincarnation. All right, near-death experiences. Anyways, parapsychology is a study of alleged psychic phenomenon, extrasensory. Okay, we are going to psychometry. All right, let's look at psychometry. All right, psychometry. In parapsychology, psychometry, also known as token object reading or psychoscopy, is a form of extrasensory perception characterized by the purported ability to glean accurate knowledge of any object's history by making physical contact with objects. Supporters assert, all right? We already know what this is: telepathy, right? Reading someone else's thoughts. Extrasensory perception, sixth sense, also known as paranormal ability to pertaining reception of information and not gaining through the recognition of physical. All right, okay. So near-death experience. Profound personal experience associated with death or impending death, which researchers describe as having similar characteristics when positive. Which most, but not all, reported experiences or such experience may encompass a variety of sensations. Synchronicity is a concept introduced by Carl Jung, founder of analytical psychology, to describe events that coincide in time and appear meaningfully related, yet lack a discoverable causal connection. Jung held that this was a healthy function of the mind, although it... Okay, we can go into detail. Now we're going to read it, all right? Let's see. Is a study of alleged psychic phenomenon, extrasensory perception, telepathy, teleportation, precognition, clairvoyance, telekinesis, psychometry, and other paranormal claims, for example, those related to near-death experience, synchronicity. Oh, this one, we have to address this one, because this is going to be my main one, all right? In parapsychology, an apparitional experience is an anomalous experience characterized by the apparent perception of either a living being or an inanimate object without there being a material stimulus. Perception, all right. You can call that hallucinations, but if I see my dead relatives, tell me what to do still. What the fuck do you want me to do? Say no? Whatever. Alright, go fuck yourself if you think I'm hallucinating. I'll just let them deal with your ass. Because they don't like you now. You're telling their relative to do things you want them to do for you, but not what they know is best for me. Alright? Parapsychology has been characterized for continuing investigation despite being unable to provide reproducible evidence for the existence of any psychic phenomena after more than a century of research. Parapsychology research rarely appears in mainstream scientific journals. Okay. Because it's pseudo-scientific, right? People say it doesn't exist. But regardless of the situation, if I'm listening to, say, my dead relatives, all right, and they say no matter what the outcome, you still come out on top because they keep fucking up. And you keep trying to tell them stop. Right? You don't have to do anything. You just have to be there. That's all you have to be there. And we'll just prove the point for everybody once you're there. So don't worry. We got your back, all right? All right. So both the former Soviet Union and modern Russia have explored parapsychology and combat psychics for military and intelligence use, mirroring similar Cold War era research in the United States. While official military journals have published sensational claims about psychic soldiers, mainstream scientists dismiss these programs as pseudoscience. All right, so we're back to it being a pseudoscience, right? No one knows if it's true or not, right? It's all fake. We don't know. All we know is that we go up to heaven in the end, right? We all think we do, right? So, all right, on to the next one. The United States military ran secret programs from 1970. Let's see. All right. Oh, darn it. Let's see if we can do this. All right, the U.S. military and intelligence community ran secret programs from the 1970s to 1995, most notably the Stargate project, to test and use psychic abilities like remote viewing for espionage and gathering hidden data during the Cold War. All right, sounds great, right? But it was also decommissioned at some point, right? Because nobody believed in it anymore, right? That somehow they couldn't find the real ones, right? They can never find the real ones because they're always trying to find, I don't know, you got a bunch of dumbasses who think they know everything trying to find the real ones when they don't know who the real ones are. All right, because they're trying to test it with whatever physical evidence that they can to substantiate their claim somehow. So, all right. Stargate Project was a secret United States Army unit established in 1977, the year I was born, at Fort Meade, Maryland, by the Defense Intelligence Agency, DIA, and Stanford Research Institute, a California contractor to investigate the potential for psychic phenomenon in military and domestic intelligence applications. The project and its precursors and sister projects originally went by various code names, including Gondoli, Anyways, go ahead and read it. It's been decommissioned. Problem is, they can't find the real ones. They always have a problem finding the real ones, so they think they know, but they don't. It's like, all right, say I'm a puzzle maker, all right? Say I make puzzles, like telekinesis puzzles. Smart, you have a couple of successful ones, all right? But just because someone might demonstrate some abilities doesn't mean they can maintain them, right? Because only certain people, like for instance, I went to this tattoo artist, all right, named Travis Thornhill. Now I got this one from let me show you. This is Brandon Saltkills up here, and it's a oh boy. All right. This is Brandon Saltkills up here. It's a dragon. It's a Korean dragon with four fingers, all right? Everybody loves it. Everybody loves it. Okay? It's very Van Gogh-ish. Everybody loves Van Gogh. all right? He's a great painter. He's very expressive because he's an impressionist. It's very impressionistic, all right? But then you get down to here, and this is done by Travis Thornhill, and it's very detailed, if you can tell. It's very realism. Now, mind you, Picasso, great artist as a cubist, but no one knows how good of a realism artist he was. He was really good as realism. So that's where he got his start, was realism, before he began to become a cubist. So, anyways. Travis, when I asked him, I said, how do you know how to see those lines? How do you know how to put shading right there? How do you know how to light and dark? And how do you know how to draw so perfectly, like realistically? And he says, you have to be born with it. And I was like, phew. But the thing is, with Brandon Saltkill, he told me he's a Luciferian, so anyways. So communication with the dead, with dead people, is called necromancy when done through magic or ritual, and mediumship or channeling when practiced through a spiritual or psychic intermediary. All right. So my emo died. You'd think I'm not going to listen to her because I know what she's going to say about certain things. I just know her. I know who the fuck she is. And there's certain things I just do not cross with her. All right? And she makes that real clear to me. And she still does that to me. Just like all my other dead relatives. And I'm sure I've got more, but I haven't heard about them yet. I can feel them, but I haven't heard. There's nothing substantiated. And this also goes with like other dead people that dead spirits that might come to me. They'll just keep haunting me for years and years. And I'm like, I don't want to deal with this shit, all right? It's not my business. But, you know, sometimes I don't have a choice. Because when they get pissed, they take over. All right? And not in a bad way. Not in a bad way. But in a just way, a balanced way. So mediumship is the practice of acting as a bridge or intermediary between the physical world and the spiritual world. Practitioners call mediums attempting to communicate with the spirits of the deceased to pass messages, comfort the living, and offer proof of an afterlife. Do not come up to me and ask me what Auntie Jackie is trying to tell you. It's not going to work like that. The only time they're going to come in is when anyways. Necromancy. Necromancy is a form of magic or a divination involving communication with the dead. Practitioners summon spirits or reanimate corpses to forecast the future, undercover hidden knowledge, or command supernatural power. So I call them necromancers. Anyone that communicates with the dead, I call them necromancers. So that's just me. How do you do it? There's millions of ways. I already showed you. But here's one. Telepathic communication is supposed transfer of thoughts, feelings, or images from one mind to another without using normal physical senses or speech. It is a form of extrasensory perception, often called mind reading or thought transference, though mainstream science says it is not real. What if my emo's screaming at me? Huh? What if my emo's screaming at me? She's like, yeah. Yeah. She'll say that. Jimmy-ya! She'll do that. Anytime I think I'm being a dumbass or I'm getting myself into trouble. I also know when Grandpa takes over, or Miss Cakes, or anyone for that matter. So, anywho, let me just continue doing my laundry real quick. It won't take me long. So, yeah, whatever happens to me, I'm sure. That's just life. But that doesn't mean it stops the divine order or plan of things, right? No man is in control of anything. Everyone thought they were in control of, say, some great person that they could steal their whatever, I don't know. But, anyways. But that doesn't happen because you can't steal God's divine plan for anyone. It's just better if you follow your own divine plan, if you know what I mean, right? God has a better plan for you. That's meant for you, right? Like, not everybody can be a rocket scientist. Definitely not me. Sounds fun, but not everybody. I can't do it. I'm not that smart enough when it comes to like figuring out what jet, all that stuff. But I do know some dudes that can do it. And they might be psychics too, but I like technology better. I'm just more of a tech guy. Some guys are robotics. They're really good at it. Anyways, let's get back to psychics and how they like advanced forms of technology and robotics and all that fun stuff. But anyways, we might be able to talk about that later. I don't know. I'll have to do research. It gets more complicated, but we see into the future. We know what's in there. Telepathic. So yeah, emo's screaming at me. All right. So, anyways, so to go back to it, yeah, if you hear your loved one bitching and screaming at you from the other side that had passed on, it's probably them. All right, more than likely they're trying to tell you something. And if you're not listening to them, they're gonna tell me. They're gonna tell me. And I don't know who these people are, honestly. But they'll warn me. I'll tell you that. Anyways, let's look at this. So imagine you're a necromancer. I don't know, like Teresa Caputo, Amy Allen, all right? Who knows, right? They communicate with the dead. Even John Edwards, he does too. So the list goes on, right? What do they use? I guess they use this, extrasensory perception, gathering information without using normal known senses, like sixth sense. Definitely telepathy, I think. Transferring thoughts or feelings directly from one mind to another. In Korean culture, you only get three senses when you die. Only three: sight, smell, and hearing. That's all you get. You don't get taste and you don't get touch anymore. If you get touch, that could be like, I don't know. It's not supposed to be normal. Let's just put it that way. But if you get touch, ask any psychic about that. You should be able to have sight, smell, and hearing, alright? Why you smell? Because, imagine Christmas time, alright? And your dead loved one comes and visits. And you're cooking and got the holes. Of course, at least they get to smell it. They can't eat the food anymore, but at least they can smell the memories, right? They can see the memories. And they can hear the memories. I guess that's part of the soul too, you know. But as far as taste and touch, that's different. Clairvoyance. Perceiving hidden or distant events or objects directly. Dead people will always tell you what's in the future, basically. They'll always tell you. Precognition, seeing or knowing about future events before they happen, all right? Hidden or distant. So, you know, yeah, they do that too. They can do moving or altering physical objects using only mental intention. That's like poltergeist activity, which is not normal unless it needs to happen, unless they're trying to prove a point, you know, like they will exert so much energy to prove a point. But usually I just go with coincidental synchronicities, yeah, those are a little better, nicer. I don't need fucking cabinets swinging and banging and people knocking on my door and nobody's there, you know. I just much rather hear a owl hoot every time I ask a question to myself, anyways. An umbrella term used by researchers for all these proposed mental and physical anomalies. Okay, so yeah, parapsychology, how it links to necromancy and communication with the dead, and what methodologies are used. No, do not come up to me and fucking ask me if Aunt Jackie has a message for me. Go ask Teresa Caputo or John Edwards. If you want to know what's going on in your haunted house and what happened, go ask Amy Allen and Matthew Anderson. Anyways, bye.